Good morning. It's going all right. Raimu, thank you. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Caught up on some sleep last night. Stayed up way too late the night before, hanging out with UNCM Griffin. Yeah, that was what just relaxing today. We're gonna have a chicken dinner here in the next couple of days. One of the roosters attacked the kids. We don't keep those. So just finished 30-minute yoga. Nice. Nice. Morning 715209. Good morning. Cyanide for dinner? How you doing? Let's see. Let's check and see what today's set to. You were on autopilot and you mix table salt instead of powdered sugar with your coffee. Oh, that sucks. It's gonna get into it here. Oh yeah, I gave myself a haircut. Can't believe nobody noticed. Hey, everybody's all stunned about the little emoji stuff. This guy. Um, but I use the same color palette that I use for Vim for that Mr. Halsey there. It's a Challenger Deep Mr. Halsey. I mean, we wouldn't want it conflicting with the colors. Oh goodness. So one thing that was not working the other day. Didn't he have more hair yesterday? Oh yeah. But now my hat'll fit again, which is good. It's just too much volume, which I'm surprised about because it's all thinning. So, but now what we're gonna do here is load up Sprite. So we need to. Yep, I was working on the emojis. Let's go 1024, 1024 with. Let's go indexed color, transparent. Sure. All right. Gonna fill this. There's our blackboard. Okay. Now we have a nested set of widgets, right? So a widget can. Oh, that's the wrong. There we go. Need more pixels. There we go. So we can have a widget, right? And that widget can have children. So it can have many children, right? And then there can be another widget following it that can have some other nested data structure, right? Well, that's got two more widgets. But we have to flatten this. And some of these might have quite deep structures. You know, it's basically a tree. Okay. Now, oh, there's a big spider up there. Looks like he's eating well. That's good. Spiders eat free here. There's so many little critters and stuff. I kind of encourage the spiders. So we're gonna have some sort of nested data structure, right? And this is what our widgets look like, just prettier, with some CSS and HTML. Hey, Lycan, how you doing? Oh, we have permissions. Right. So as we go through here, you might not have permission to, let's say, this one right here, which would replace that one with an empty one. Oh, you live in Spider Central. I'm doing all right. I took a couple Advil before the stream. I got a slight headache going on. Had like 1. This would be 2. This would be 3. I feel like Khan from Khan Academy. And then we have the number 4 here, followed by 5 with a 6, 7, 8, 9. That was easy. Then we have the last little one over here. This is 10. And that's how we count. So we need to put these into some sort of array that looks like that, right? Where it's 1 to 10 from there to there. Dot, 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 right? Because this is the order that they're going to render in. You heard a duck? Yeah, that's very likely. I have the window open. Yeah. Here, I'll turn off crisp. I'll turn up the mic here. I don't know what you hear. Oops. Oh, that's way too loud. Okay. You thought you were hearing Rainbow. There's a chicken. Sounds like a chicken laid an egg. Yeah, somebody's laid. I think I'm going to remove this into its own function. Okay, let's do that. Because we are going to want tests on this. Just toss that down here for a moment. No longer use self. Oh, we need the list of widgets. I guess it could be a mutable iterator of widgets. An iterator of mutable widgets. Because, oh, technically we're draining them. What else needs widgets after we build them? Here. Would have been on page here. All right. So yeah, we have our page config here. And if we took widgets out of page, what's going to be upset about it? So what if page had an optional widgets, right? And then we could just take it out. So we toss that there. One less heap allocation. Build widgets. Yeah. I know I moved you. Here, extend. Oh, interesting. This is because we use the page definition for two things, for the page and for the page defaults. And in this case, we have that. That's fine. Let's map or match self.widgets in a tuple with other widgets. Self other. Oh. Here. That's O. This is O. These are both self. Okay. So in the case where the other one exists, but we don't, it's just self.widgets. Insert O. In this case, nothing changes. Okay. Oh, and these should not return anything. I wish there was an easier way to say that there. And in this case, we do the extend. Going to tell us that it wasn't mutable or something. What's going to tell us? Nope, we're good. Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised we're not getting more errors. Because where we end up calling this, or where we had been calling it, here, template page. Oh, was it models? If I can spell models. It's pub. Okay. Let's fix this. And the widgets for this. Just the vector of widgets. So we're extracting that out. And in fact, we're going to own that. It'll be mutable. Okay. Okay. Oh, page is private. Huh. Models mod. Okay. 4 and 3. We need to pass in the widgets. Oh, but the naming. This widgets here is a bad name. Template features. Now, what if... you know what? This needs to be an option, doesn't it? We're getting a late start on milking today because I slept in. Oh, the replace thing was cool. Oh, that's part of COC. Yeah. COC, Rust Analyzer. You have to make sure you save all the files afterwards. Okay. Now, if widgets is empty, what should we return? We have to return the futures unordered and then an empty vector. Don't really want to match, have that as the body of a match. So if we match widgets, fill match arms, widgets. Okay. The other case here would be a tuple with future templates and an empty vector. Okay, let's take that down to the end of this function. I'm gonna just grab that, toss this into there, give it a save. Now everything quote unquote should work. Oh, they have incompatible types because I forgot to wrap this in an OK. Oh, and where is Keycaster? There it is. Okay. Oh, listen to those clickety clacks. Yes. Okay, let's turn that back on. There we go. I forgot about that. Crisp does an amazing job of filtering all that out. Okay. Where now? Oh, matching here. Yeah, lifetimes. I don't want to move out of that. Just take a mutable reference to it. Use variable as, yes. Okay. Yeah, that keyboard Father's Day gift from like forever ago. And this is, what's the date on this one? I've taken this from like job to job to job. It's been a beast. Fingers have polished the keys, slowly worn them down. All right. Well, does that still work? Cargo check. Oh, and thank you for that follow. Look what I forgot to set up. I forgot to set up Mitch. There we go. Okay. So we've extracted it out to its own function. Now we can start to write some tests for it. Why do we need event? Oh, for these guys. That means I need like a default event. Request isn't going to have default. It's like I need a mock one or to split that up. So what do these actually care about? Sorry, the coloring is a little off today. Okay. Move children. See, this one doesn't need event. So we could just get rid of that. Admin setup. Okay, what do you need it for? The cookie jar. Okay, we have a default cookie jar. So why don't we just pass in a reference to the cookie jar? What about you? Do you use event? No, you don't. Don't use anything in here yet. It will need the session though. That's known because that's where the roles are, the permission information. But event, it's just going to need to know the cookies actually. So it needs a cookie jar eventually. Getting a lot of cookie jar here. Cookies, cookies. Take flash, which is kind of stored in a cookie, but we've got a little utility function there. Maybe we should toss that over on the cookie jar. Yeah, all of these operate on the cookie jar. Let's move those. Now, wherever it says cookie jar. Oh, two places. Nice. Delete that. Fix the imports. We do have to remove. Remove. Where's remove? Right there. All it does is take a stir. It's a jar. Oh. Oh. It's because the cookies are the wrong type. Huh. Wait. No method named remove found for mutable reference. Cookie jar cookie. Is that our cookie jar cookie? Wait, is this, did I put this on cookie? Oh, I put it on cookie and not the jar. Okay. Flash, flash, flash. Okay. Where's the cookie jar? There's the cookie jar. There's the impl. Go down to the bottom. Oh, thank you, OG Jake. How you doing? How's the size there? We got 32 today. Okay. Good. Now we need to switch this up a bit. I have a lot of inserting cookie jar now. All right. It should be fairly straightforward. Just tossing that on a number of these. Okay. Cookie jar. Let's finish up this refactor, then we'll actually stage it. Almost there. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna just close all the buffers because they keep Vim's a little confused. Let it restart too. All right. We're gonna put in the cookie jar changes. Build widget, yeah, just basically all of this. Cookie jar, cookie jar. Yep. Page rendering. We'll have to say this is kind of a work in progress commit. We'll take pieces of this one. I don't want the logging. Flash. Okay. Now, if we go back to where we were in models page, this is the function that we need to flatten out, right? And what were we using event for? Oh, because of these, right? I'm thinking, oh, well, why do we even need event? We probably just need the cookie jar and the session info. It's easier to set up a mock cookie jar than it is to set up a mock event. Okay. Admin setup. Do you need the event? No, you need the cookie jar. Let's swap that out. Ooh, which one? Create cookie jar, that one. You like the new profile logo pick? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I also renamed the Discord. It's no longer legacy. It's more, it's correct. All right, so we'll pass in a cookie jar there. That's event dot cookie jar. We're just going to keep bubbling this out. Okay. Admin tells future. You will need to know session info for who you are. Actually, that's in the session, isn't it? Yeah, who you are and what roles you have. What do we even need event for? I don't think there's anything we need an event for. let's just remove that. And this is for just centering things. This, wait, template center? Doesn't need that at all. It just centers things. Spoke at the Rust Utah meetup last night on your experiences learning Rust. When you know Go. Definitely will only do WASM stuff in Rust, not Go. It is amazing how the tooling is just set up better for in Rust for compiling to WASM. This is NeoVim, yeah. It's a nightly. I've been using nightly forever. There we go. And this is for showing the error page. Yep, no need anything heavier than that. Slash, just needs a cookie jar. Slash also wants a mutable reference to cookie jar. Login. What about you? Yes. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I'm Black GN. What's a GN doing on the back? Oh, what is box pin? Basically, a box pin sets up a pin. It pins something so it can't be moved around. Um, it's just a quick, easy way to create a pin that has a box inside of it. Oh, Giovanni, good morning. So here, this is really what we're creating. It's just so much easier to say box pin than pin new box new. But you do that so often that it's just they've made a quick little thing for it. And when something's pinned, that means you don't move it around. Gamer Nexus? Oh, change your mind. Good night. Oh. And this one was cookies again. And what does paragraph want? Props. I don't understand this one. Like why? Okay, first off, that really should be like widget. But oh, it's taking the data out of the widget itself. That makes more sense. Okay, I thought it was like a posted date or something. Hello. Couldn't box be unpinned in the first place since it lives in the heap? Uh, Interesting question because here we need it to be pinned because future is ordered to implement future. Oh, you know what? You're right, we might not need that. There's a type output here. Hold on. So we're T is a future. I implement pin for that. Unpin for that. Huh. You just debug. That you're right. Oh, shouldn't it be not unpin in the first place since it lives in the heap? Because with the futures, they have to stay in a location, right? Um, and by pinning it, we keep it from moving, which is what the futures need. Um, hmm. Oh, Musean, good morning. How are you? Popped in your stream earlier to watch for a bit while I was getting set up. Soy Pete, good morning. Welcome. Well, I was just passed a note. I feel like a news anchor. I can't read the writing. Oh, hold on. I have to respond. All right. Welcome, everyone. So we're in the middle of doing a little bit of refactoring, and I don't know what else. Sorry, I forget what else we were doing. Oh, we were talking about why the async move or the async block here has to be inside of a pin box. And from what my understanding was, it's so that it stays in a location and doesn't get moved, um, so that the futures code knows exactly where it is. That's kind of like a high level hand wavy bit there. I'll do that for now. Okay. Template mod. Close that. Close that. Going through my widgets, wondering like why do these things need these things? And like in this case, it actually uses redirect, which is well, it uses the response. And I don't know if now response we can set up. This could be defaulted. Basically, I want to write some tests. And RESPON response. There we go. And which one? Create that one. Good, good. But now we have another borrow. Will this work? The response. Okay. It's gonna hate that, isn't it? I don't know. It might be able to figure it out. Wait. No, because it can do this. It's not like we're calling a mutable function, right? It can do disjoint mutable borrows on a struct. Disjoint captures? Oh, that's for closures. Disjoint borrows. What are we doing with this? State. User delete. Hmm. Okay. Why do Marxists only drink herbal tea, herbal teas? Because property is theft. Property. Since box leaves in the heap, it should make sense that it's unpinned so it can move to a new location in the heap. Oh, lives. No, lives. So a question about that though, with Rust and heap allocations, um, is Rust free to just move heap allocated elements just willy nilly? Um, like let's say you had a string, right? You weren't doing anything with it, but when would Rust move the string on allocation? Oh, it's up to the allocator. Okay, I see. So if you had a pinned, can you even do what can you pin? Um, Here, let's open the local docs. Local docs are awesome in Rust. We can change locate. Okay. Right, and that like vector push over the capacity will move it. That makes absolute sense because they're contiguous in memory, and so it's got to put it in a new location where it has more space. Right, if it can't resize it, I imagine that they do try to resize it if possible. Like it's as you said before, it's up to the allocator. Let's see, I can change location and move data depending on allocators and runtime. What is the Rust allocator? You can actually swap it out. Reallocate it with a new size and extras. So it's still contiguous, yep. And for our WASM bits here, we're actually using wealloc. Where was that set up? That's in, is it in utils? No. Oh, here. There's a ton of work on custom per container allocators. Interesting. There is allocator for WASM too. Oh, yep, and that's one we're using. When do you think the which is placement new from C++? Oh, does that mean that wait, is that going to fix the thing where whenever you put something in the heap, it actually goes through the stack? Is that what will eventually fix that? Hold on, I'm going to switch to standing up. Knocking stuff over. Yeah. For box based types, it will. Interesting. Hmm. You wrote a neat single expression for function calculator. I saw you working on that this morning. What were you testing out with that? All right. When should we use inline attribute? You saw it in toString. Um, I tend not to use it that much. I let the compiler inline things for me, based on like the optimization flags, but they're suggestions anyways. So I think in some cases it makes sense where, like especially like cold, like if you have a set of branches and you say, oh, this one's gonna be cold. No, this will never happen. Um, I mean, yeah, and the documentation says these are suggestions only. Even inline always is a suggestion. So a little command builder language for your bot. Oh, hold on, let me do that over here. Two antennas met on a roof, fell in love, and got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was excellent. What do we have there? Oh, I didn't realize I was using Chrome over there. Yeah, the documentation's pretty explicit in saying suggestion only, suggestion only, suggestion only for each one of them. Oh, I see. Increment by report. Oh, interesting. Stateful commands for some sort of type. Yes. Oh, this is interesting. Here. So C's a const char, or it's, sorry, C's const. That's neat. I'm just trying to pick up the little tiny bits from elsewhere too. Um, Sometimes you do things that are alien to me, and those are good learning moments. Look at line 1 to 5. Yep, got it. That's neat. You can bind, huh? These functions with this state. Feels like JavaScript. Do the math. Hmm. Oh, Catrocious. Which one? Which one is a literal type? The exclamation here? It's a it's a const generic. Yeah, they're here. Same here. Same here. Seems pretty fun though. Ah, once stir is allowed, you'll have all sorts of crazy stuff. Yes, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Let's see, I wanted to take a peek down here. So you're mapping these to these types, and otherwise to the digits. Flat map. What are you doing here? You get the digits. If it's not okay, it, I say, huh? Because you're operating on them one at a time. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, same thing here. Oh, interesting use of matches. I like that. I never used the or in there. Removes the spaces and digit tokens. Oh, I see. You're filtering it out just to keep those. That's cool. Wow. I like how you're doing bind. And in this mutable t here, you have counter increment here. And that t was, yeah, it's a type for self on that. So in this case, could you have these have a different type here? These all have to match, don't they? It comes from stateful commands, Neil. Oh, because I see that there. It's that. Where'd it go? So it passes in the new type, and then. But if this function here, if this self doesn't match, oh, I guess. Yeah, the compiler would throw an error if I guess this type here didn't match what these were expecting for the first argument, which in this case is self. But these could also be generic functions, couldn't they? Oops. That's the callable stuff. Or self is sensing and is static. Okay. Wrap example. I was getting a tad bit fancy. Yeah. So this is the Archimedes text to T. This is where. Wow. It calls wrap example. Wrap example creates closures, which clone the arc, and then eventually lock the mutex. And then courses the mutex card into a mutable borrow to T, where T is self. All right. Where T equals self via type Tetris. Man, that's cool. It's always neat to see, right, where self is limited. It's interesting they're using impl callable here. Oh, this is dead code? Wow. Yeah. All right. We're gonna step out. Okay. Oh, we only have a couple left. Okay. What are we doing with this event? Getting state and cookie jar. Callable is your main trait. You have it implemented for any function that takes a context A and returns a result. Nah. Hmm. That's neat. Oh, this is the user form. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Then implemented for a bunch of containers. Two blondes fell down a hole. One said, "It's dark in here, isn't it?" The other replied, "I don't know, I can't see." We'll trade for limited things, and then anti everywhere to reduce compile times. Wow. A little allocation as possible. Everything is trying to be lazy. One more user list. Event to env.users. Oh, that just wants the environment. And that is env. So I'm using arc TCP stream. You don't ever need immutable access to a TCP. Yeah, I know, right? I'll take this. Import create env. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Andres. Okay, let's remove that. Because it impulse read and write for TCP stream. So arc TCP stream can deref into TCP stream. But buff reader, so buff reader TCP stream is valid. Files of this, oh, neat. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'd always wondered about that because of the way the file descriptors are set up in, well, most operating systems now. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. Can I find event in the scope? Yes. But can you find cookie jar? Oh, this also wants env. They do internal locking. Yeah. Sorry for the glitter. Give me 1 minute, please. All right. Cookie jar state and env. What happened? Oh, I went up. So that'll be a bag. And then ENV. Okay. How's the Mimeo live? It's going pretty well so far. We're breaking this down so we can. Oh dear. Um, so we can test it better. Oh, and we do need response. Okay. That does make sense. Fine. Response. But now I don't have to have the mutable borrow on them. A double borrow on the ENV is not needed. Anything else? Session. That's fine. Thank you. Thank you. You didn't miss anything incredible there. Trust me. All right. Let's restart that. All right. So that builds. Now, let's go test that thing. Got this function here. And it has a couple of responsibilities, right? Maybe we should do this in stages. Reduce some of the complexity by doing it in phases here. Like, we could go through and see if you have permission or not. If you don't, then we replace it with an empty widget. That's maybe a good first stage. Then after that, we have to flatten it and preserve the child count. Now, do we want to just mutate this or create a new vector? We own it at this point. If I'm thinking that Maybe we return an iterator? I've been thinking of a way of removing the shared stuff from my iterator. The RC ref solve. Oh, yes, yes. How would you do that? How do you defend yourself against a group of clowns? Go for the juggler. How to remove the enums. So, problem here is that we have to swap the widget out. Okay. The removal of enums is easy-ish. Just store each operator as a bit in a U64, sure. With digits stored in the lower 32, just a bunch of masking. Interesting, yeah. It's really one expression, okay. No extra types. That's interesting, but it does mean that you're at risk of having you limit it to U32? Oh, let's just say it's a function. Filter. What's a good name for this? We're going to basically do this and swap out with empty futures, with empty widgets. I actually need a widget that's called empty, don't I? I think we do. Just need to be able to map to it later, which we don't have set up. Let's do that. But they only need to be a U1. Empty future is depressing. That it is. Okay. No. This is okay. This needs help. This is going to take the vector of widgets. It's going to be immutable reference to it? On against infiltrate and arc position. I want to just do that. It would end up chewing up stacks. How do we do this without... I need something else. I need something that can walk a tree with a visitor. Gunsfo. It will display. Isn't possible to actually call that function. Oh. Oh. Really? You need to do a food display, right? But I've heard we've chatted about it before, and I guess Impel in the argument position was kind of added to the language very quickly without a lot of discussion. Hmm. Which means you always need to do the placeholder. Oh, that's yeah. A bind function to hide the two. That's funny. Let's say we wanted to walk this structure instead. Oh, what's going on over here? Um, hmm. You could kind of do this step out of order. Would it matter if it was out of order? It would do a little bit too much work. I've never done a visitor pattern in Rust. Actually, it's been quite a while since I've implemented visitor pattern. In this case, I don't think there's anything we need to return here. Oh, okay. You had some really complex type Tetris going on. And then after deleting the file, you realized you could split the generics into different parts concretely. That's cool. That moment of reflection. Okay. Now, walk widgets inside of here. For each one of those, let's just say for widget and widgets. Now this that works, but it's just one level, right? It doesn't actually go into them. It's by using a trait. Hmm. Create visitor, function visit node A. Oh, I see. That makes a lot of sense. So trait widget visitor. That makes so much sense. Visit. An impl visitor foo for whatever. Right. Because it's a mutable reference to V and not. So, I mean, that's widget. Oh, I see. Um, yes. See, I was thinking that you could actually toss it onto the widget, right? You could say, oh, well, just mutate yourself, right? That doesn't make sense. Um, well, thank you for the follow, Mascot 80, Mascot 68. Now, in this case, we are going to be mutating the widgets kind of on purpose. For the permissions, if you don't have permission to a widget, we're going to be changing which widget it is. So we look at the permissions. And this guy's also going to need to know what the permissions. And what was the permissions? Vector of. Oh, that's a wrong. That's not a rule. That should be a roll. In fact, yeah, that's fine. Super roll. Can isn't implemented for that. That has to be a pub trait, doesn't it? Pub trait. Um, can. Well, if it can. Well, can for rolls. Oh, no. Nope, no. This is going to be. Okay. Is there? Oh, no. This has to be self dot zero. Reference to that. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do need that. Um, I'll impl that for Now, how do you implement these for? You just provide a tray method to get the roles. Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Would that duplicate the implementation of can? I mean, if you have a default impl there, because I don't want to waste the space in the WASM file. I'm really trying to avoid Momo here. Single impl. Now, why would that be a single impl? You wish it duplicated it? Like, how does somebody know whether or not that would be the case? Like, if I wanted to know whether or not the default impl is that documented? All right, then roles is self.roles. You have this done macro because it doesn't? Really? That name could be default impl, but it's shared across all the impls. So you get no uniqueness. Wow. Hmm. But it sounds like you ran into it. Like, oh, this isn't mode, right? How do they implement that on the back end? Maybe permitted instead of can. Yeah, the naming needs improvement. It's just a static method. Yeah. That takes a pointer as cast. Oh, I see. So if you have, does that mean that, so with the default impls, right? The default functions, does that mean that it's double dispatched to find the right function? Because it's not with the other functions in that implementation. So it first goes to the impl, gets a pointer to the next place, and then uses that. Oh, it's single dispatch. Okay. you do this? Mismatch types, found reference. Oh, um, okay. I'm doing well. That's interesting. No, what does this mean? Is this it's not an array because an array would have a size, right? Is it a slice? Well, of course that's a slice. It's just not. It doesn't have the borrow on it. Wow. Oh, that's neat. Unsized slice. Huh. Well, today I learned. That's really cool. And that's why we do this. Because that is neat. That is really cool. Good morning, patatas. How you doing? Hmm. Yeah, I like that. Impul foo for Dine Bar. Does that actually work, Museum? Oh, wow. It's even used in standard. Huh. That is cool. Now, what's the difference? I mean, so Impul foo for here, Dine Bar, right? What's the difference between that and, T, where T is bar? Foo is only implemented when you have a Dine trait. Ah, dynamically dispatched. Okay, that makes sense. And why would you want to implement that for only when it's dynamically dispatched? I feel like we've talked about this. Hmm. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh, that's really helpful then. So if I was concerned about size, then you could actually use much more of this. You could still use generics and impl things or other elements, or it's a dying foo. Huh. Oh. Oh, it gives me ideas. Yeah, size constraints, orphan rule constraints, etc. Code size also fits. That's neat. All right. Oops. That's you should probably never employ a trait for a borrowed T type. Okay. I'm trying to get this captured in email to myself. There we go. Stir, T, dine, whatever. Okay. Hmm. All right. Saved. Because you'd almost always have a borrow self receiver. I see. Yeah. Well, what's going on here? Widget permissions are permissions. Oh, is it complaining about yeah, what is it complaining about? This function should return result or option to accept question mark. Oh, of course, of course. Because of this empty future, but that doesn't actually do anything. Template empty. There's no way it actually fails. A little more explicit there. As you saw, when I wanted to return, yeah, the double borrow. Done is sort of like virtual, yes. It's not really a keyword for overloading, but it does provide dynamic dispatch. What's going on here? Super can. say that's so if a role can permission. So whatever the role is that this user has, can they do this permission? Or do they have this permission? I guess we could rename it to like has permission. That can is so much shorter. Nice. Gonna keep that around. Actually, let's set over here. Give that a favor. Reading list, save. Okay. Now in this case, we're actually going to replace widget. Can we do this? Oh, wait, no. This needs to be an actual widget. What is that kind? Kind. And then the rest is defaulted. Because this is normally created via deserialization. Where were we? Here? The trait bounds widget default is not satisfied. Really? Oh, everything else is. Okay. We don't need that. Don't need that. It's only the cases where it's not available. Do we want that? Ah, thank you. Replace widgets. Let's see, with an empty one. Okay. So is it better to not use dyn and hot code paths if possible? So, so that works there. No. And this goes through like the top layer of widgets, right? But it doesn't go next layer in and further and further and further. How do we make a tree walker in Rust without recursion? Recursion, that's the easy way, right? Just call this again. And that would work, but I'd prefer not to have that edge case where we suddenly blow the stack. So I'm really not sure. Like I don't have a great amount of confidence for understanding what the. I guess it's. I haven't thought about it much actually. But what would the stack size be when you're compiling to WASM? I guess it's a 32-bit target. You could probably still control it, but there's still a risk of somebody having to find something too far and then not being able to then go back and change the data, right? Because the data is going to be manipulated via the page that you use to manipulate the page. So, trying to avoid recursion. No, sadly, I have to probably wrap up. I know it's short stream today, but I think we made a lot of good progress. Oh, yep, delete that off of there. For widget. Other widgets. And then we can visit widgets, etc. Oh, what happened there? Oh. Just thinking through it. So we need to filter it before we flatten it, because once we flatten it, filtering it is going to be more challenging, I think. Maybe not. We would just need to know how many children each one needed. Hmm. All right. Ah, dread. I must run. Oh, what stream? Yep, not doing R. Oh, wow. Got a lot of people doing Godot today. And only one poor sap doing Rust. Let's see. What do we have? Who is streaming today? Kind of light on the targets, huh? Anybody have any preferences here? Got Tej. Got the Ducks. Yes, we have the Ducks. Oh, look at that. That looks incredible. Yeah, about to raid. Good morning, Davros. I've been getting a lot of these kind of popping up. Squirrels, chickens, a bunch of farm stuff. I get why they're in science and tech. And it makes sense, right? I mean, life science. But I should put my bunnies on there. They are so cute. They're tiny. Oh, I should go get one real quick. On. Actually, I'll share a bunny. If you hold on just a moment, I'll go grab one. Um, be right back. Oh, was I on mute? Sorry about that. But yeah, this little guy's never been out of the hutch before. Oh, so far away from mama. Man, rabbits are like really, really fragile. So you have to be careful. Can't drop them. That'd just be bad, especially at this size. Hmm. So, but yeah, Togglebit has rabbits. I didn't, but no, he's more like midnight to 8 a.m. for me. So we complement each other, right? Bunny ears. Oh, with the bunny ears. That's right. We're competing. Oh, oh, you don't like your ears played with? I don't know. I can't tell if it's content or just terrified. Doesn't seem to be shaking. So, well, those legs are highly optimized. Yes, it's gonna be hard to type for the raid. I'm back up here. I'm gonna copy and paste. Great. Sodding. Sodding. Oh, hello. Yeah, so many lights. You want to say something? It's not very loud. It doesn't say anything. Well, I sniffed it. So, till next time, y'all. Bye bye.